Hi everyone, this video is about an American drama, The Escape or A Leap for Freedom, written by William Wells Brown. In this video, we'll see about the author information, the plot summary, characters, and a literary analysis. Author information. William Wells Brown was born as a slave at a plantation owned by Dr. Young in Lexington of the state Kentucky in 1814. He escaped to the northern part of America to a place called Cincinnati in the year of 1834, and he lived there until 1836. Then he lived in the place called Buffalo from 1836 to 1844. He moved to the British Isles in 1849, and he was purchased by a British couple as a slave in 1854. In the same year, he came back to US to give a lecture about the abolition movement in New York and Massachusetts. William Wells Brown's experience as a slave influenced this major literary work, The Escape or A Leap for Freedom. Speaking of career, he is a prominent African-American abolitionist, lecturer, novelist, playwright, and historian. He did not attend any school or college. Awards and honors. He is recognized as the first African American to publish a novel named The President's Daughter, a narrative of slave life in the United States. A school in Lexington is named after him. Among the first writers inducted into the Kentucky Writers Hall of Fame, he is one among them. Plot summary. Protagonists of the drama include Melinda and Glenn. They are married slaves, but they belong to separate plantations. Melinda is owned by Dr. Gaines and Glenn is owned by Mr. Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton is the brother-in-law of Dr. Gaines. Antagonists of this drama include Dr. and Mrs. Gaines. They are the proprietors of the farm at Muddy Creek in Missouri. The conflict of the drama is that Melinda and Glenn consider themselves as married, but their marriage is not approved by both their masters. They struggle to be united and they wanted to escape to freedom. The plot complicates at the point where Dr. Gaines becomes increasingly interested in Melinda and wants her to sexually submit to him. But because of Dr. Gaines' attention towards Melinda, Mrs. Gaines becomes jealous of Melinda and she treats her harshly. Glenn is aware of the fact that Dr. Gaines is romantically interested in Melinda and he desires to protect his wife even at the cost of his own life. The plot climax. Dr. Gaines takes Melinda to a cottage which is located 10 miles away from the Muddy Creek farm and he tries to seduce her there. He offers her everything that she wanted, but still Melinda refuses to submit herself to Dr. Gaines and she reveals the marriage that she had with Glenn. This infuriates Dr. Gaines and he promises to burn Glenn at stake. Mrs. Gaines finds that Melinda is in the cottage and she attempts to kill her with a poison. The plot resolves at the point where both Melinda and Glenn resist their intended murder and the tortures made by their masters and they run away. They find each other in the forest outside of the Muddy Creek and they decide to escape to Canada. With the help of Ohio crackers on Underground Railroad, Melinda and Glenn are successful in their escape to Canada. Characters. Dr. Gaines, he is the proprietor of the farm at Muddy Creek and he is a medical doctor by profession. He is a round character. Round characters are those which has depth and clarity in the description. He is viewed as a religious, pious man, but he has very poor moral values. He physically and sexually exploits most of his slaves. He is unfaithful to his wife, Mrs. Gaines, and he is a static character. He does not change throughout the drama. Mrs. Gaines. She is wife of Dr. Gaines. She is also a round character. She is a professed religious woman. Physically and emotionally, she manipulates all her slaves. She asserts her power over the slave, Hannah, by selling her husband, Sam, and forcing her to marry another slave. She is also a static character. Melinda. Melinda is house slave of Dr. Gaines and she is married to Glenn, who is a slave of Mr. Hamilton. She is a round character. She is sexually assaulted by Dr. Gaines, but she resists and keeps her moral integrity. She is very strong-willed throughout the drama. Dynamic character, because she chooses to show so many changes to the readers. Her courage strengthens as the play continues and she finally has the boldness to escape slavery at the end of the play. Glenn. He's slave of Mr. Hamilton and he is married to Melinda. He's a round character. He's a strong-willed slave who has endured all the physical abuses and hardships given by Jacob Crabbe, who is hired by Dr. Gaines to torture him, and he remains very brave and loyal towards his wife. He is a static character. Cato. Cato is a house slave of Dr. Gaines, and Dr. Gaines appoints Cato to be an assistant doctor. He is a flat character. He plays a type of character that is found in Black Minstrelsy. He is a comedic character and always do things that are foolish. He is ignorant and always blissful. He is a dynamic character as he remains loyal towards his master at the beginning of the play, but during the end he is found to change in his attitude. Other slaves include Sam, Sampey, Hannah, Dolly, Susan, Big Sally, Pete, Ned and Bill, Mr. and Mrs. Neal. They are flat and static characters. They are the ones who helped Melinda and Glenn escape to the Canada. They are very hospitable and kind. Mr. White, he is also a flat and static character. He is a northerner from Massachusetts who speaks against slavery. Reverend Pincher, he is also a flat and static character. He is a clergyman. Analysis of the drama. Analysis of this drama. Narrative point of view. There is no point of view in this because it is a play and it has all dialogues in it. Setting of the drama. The time is pre-period of 1861. The places include Muddy Creek, where the farm is located, Missouri, Ohio, and Canada. Mood or tone. It is between a mix of comedy and drama. Symbol of this drama. Whips, chains, and beating sticks that the masters used to oppress their slaves. Style of this drama. It is a kind of melodrama, which is a dramatic work that exaggerates the plot and characters in order to appeal to the emotion. Often, strongly stereotyped characters are presented in the play. Irony in this drama include the contradiction between the Southerners' religion and the cruelty. Cato's loyalty towards Dr. and Mrs. Gaines at the beginning of the play is also found to be ironical. Themes and issues with this drama. The conflict between religion and racism of the Southern Americans, physical, sexual, and emotional exploitation of slaves by their masters, the separation of family to manipulate slaves, the northern states that take stand against slavery, the perseverance of slaves, and the endurance of torture they have undergone due to their masters' cruelty. Thank you.